Hello everyone, welcome to Cloud Passion. In last couple of sessions, we have basically understood how Terraform works and how it basically deploys cloud on the infrastructure. In this section, we will study about how Terraform handles dependencies. That is how Terraform decides which resource to deploy first and what order to follow it. So without any further ado, let's move to presentation. So we have to understand how Terraform handle dependencies. So basically there are two types of dependency in Terraform. One is implicit dependencies and one is explicit dependencies. So let's first focus on implicit dependencies. So to explain this, let me move to Visual Studio Code and explain you. So in Visual Studio Code, let me open this subnet.tf file. In this file, you can see that I have a resource with a name as AWS subnet and its internal name as lab public, and this resource is basically attached to VPC, which is basically our VPC, right, which we are creating manually. So how Terraform will know that it has to create a VPC prior to the subnet. So whenever a Terraform comes across with something like AWS VPC, that is resource name dot its local name, what it does is that it first checks whether that thing exists or not. If that thing does not exist, it basically create that thing first. So in this case, when Terraform will come to this TF file and see that this AWS VPC lab VPC resource is not yet created, so it will first go to this vpc.tf file and it will create this particular VPC. And as this VPC it does not have any dependency, so this would be the first. So this is the way in which Terraform handles dependency, and this type of dependencies are known as implicit dependencies. So the dependencies in which Terraform itself knows that what resource needs to be created prior to what other resource is known as implicit dependencies. So in the similar fashion, if we will go to routetable.tf file, then what we will see that routetable.tf file, AWS route table is also dependent on VPC and is also dependent on gateway. So before creating a route table, it will basically create a gateway and a VPC. So in this manner, Terraform is very intelligent enough to make sure like what resource it has to create first and what at last, and what is the sequence to be followed. And the second type of dependency is known as explicit dependencies. Let us show what is it exactly. So let us suppose we are creating this VPC, and before this VPC we want that another resource to be created, right? And this is not mandatory parameter or an argument for this particular resource type. For example, before creating the VPC, a user wants a EC2 instance must be created in any other VPC. So that type of dependency is known as explicit dependency, the dependency that is imposed by a user. So in order to use explicit dependency, we have a keyword known as depends on. And inside that basically you specify the resource on which we want this to be depends on. Let's suppose we want this VPC to be depend on this EC2 resource. So what I will do is I will copy this and I will paste this. So by doing so, we are telling Terraform before creating a lab VPC, you must create this EC2 instance that might be in any other VPC. So I think by now you must be clear that what is implicit dependency and what is explicit dependency and where are they used and what are those use cases. So thanks for attending this session. See you in the next session. Bye bye.